we finally have clarity on when our Prime Minister will meet with US President Donald Trump. Anthony Albanese told Sky News this morning that he'll meet with Donald Trump just as soon as the meeting he hasn't scheduled actually gets scheduled. It's the diplomatic equivalent of promising to win the lottery just as soon as the numbers cooperate.
Oh, when we have a meeting, we'll have a meeting. And when it's scheduled, that will occur.
It's like watching someone in the friend zone insist they're just waiting for the right moment. And don't tell me Anthony Albanese is not a little sensitive about it. Check out his reaction when it was suggested that Penny Wong might be able to play matchmaker while she's in Washington this week.
Penny Wong's meeting is with foreign ministers. I expect her to have a meeting with her co-foreign ministers, including Marco Rubio, at the Quad, along with the foreign ministers of Japan and India, just as I'll have a meeting with the leaders of the 4 countries involved in the Quad, the other 3, when the Quad meeting is held in India in coming months.
He fairly bristled at the suggestion his foreign minister might have more sway than he does. Albanese insisted, "I'm the leader," which in this case means waiting quietly by the phone for a call from Donald Trump that may never come. And again, if you don't think Albanese is sensitive about the fact he can't get a meeting with Trump, watch how fast he changes the subject. He pivots so fast, I'm surprised he didn't pull a hamstring.
Today is an important day for the government's priorities, which are July 1, delivering increased cost of living relief, just as we said we would. So today, an extra 2 weeks paid parental leave, super paid on paid parental leave for the first time, paid prac for people undertaking to be a teacher or a nurse.
Talk about a masterclass in political misdirection. When will I meet with the US President? Well, I'm so glad you raised the topic of paid parental leave. The PM was asked again, when will he meet with Donald Trump?
We'll see each other a lot in the last months of the year. That's when summit season occurs, whether Australia and the United States are both members, of course, of the G20, of the Quad, of APEC. We'll see each other quite a lot in coming months.
They'll meet in summit season. That clears that up. The Prime Minister insists proximity equals diplomacy, which is a bit like saying you've spoken to Taylor Swift because you're at Sydney Airport when her plane landed in Australia. I'm not sure that bumping into Trump in a hallway between canapes and keynote speeches qualifies as strategic engagement. But hey, if loitering in the same conference venue counts as foreign policy, well, elbows practically Sir Winston Churchill. Of course, Anthony Albanese could always go to the White House. The leader of Jordan has done it. The leader of El Salvador has done it. The Canadian leader, the UK leader, the Irish leader, the Norwegian leader, the Indian leader and the Japanese leader, they've all made the trip. It's not as if Trump isn't meeting with anyone. Maybe it's the case that he's not meeting with just anyone. You know what I mean. Anthony Albanese insists that he's investing in relationships.
We're investing in our relationships. Our relationships in this region are very important. With Indonesia, the increased relationship that we have, with Papua New Guinea as well, the announcements that we've made with Tuvalu and Nauru, important relationships for the Indo-Pacific region. We are doing all of that and making an enormous difference.
It's the international equivalent of saying, you couldn't get invited to the captain's table, but hey, you've got great rapport with the kitchen staff. Pacific Island nations are important, I'm not disputing that, but you can't defend Australia with coconuts. Pretending you don't need Trump because you've got Tuvalu is like boasting about your umbrella collection during a missile strike. There are some relationships, however, that Anthony Albanese is not so keen to boast about.
Is China being prioritised over the US at the moment? I know you've got a trip to Beijing coming up soon.
No.
It was the kind of answer you'd expect from a teenager caught sneaking in after curfew. Apparently, flying to Beijing to smile politely for the cameras while dodging questions about human rights is not prioritising China, it's just engagement. Meanwhile, Washington remains an unscheduled hope, marked in the calendar somewhere between not yet and don't hold your breath. Albanese assures us both relationships are equally important. Well, I've got to say it's hard to believe that when one gets the red carpet and the other one gets ghosted. In Albanese's world, diplomacy is less about who you do and don't meet and more about how confidently you pretend that none of it matters.